Hey everybody, I want to do this video because my son at 3 weeks was diagnosed with pyloric stenosis. This is the name of it, woohoo, right here, and which I know you're probably not going to be able to read it, but I'll hold it here anyway if I could ever get it still. This is basically what it is, what it's saying, is all the information on it. And what it is saying is that basically where the stomach meets the small intestines, I'm going to show you a little picture. Where the stomach meets the small intestine, there is a muscle. It's called a pyloric muscle, and it continues to thicken and thicken, and it eventually closes off because it thickens so much it narrows the passageway, and it eventually shuts it off, and so food can't pass through. It's not present at birth, but it starts developing right after birth, or not long after birth is what it says. And it says that it occurs in babies very young, usually around 3 weeks to 12 weeks, and that it happens about 2 to 4 babies out of 1,000 is what it says. That it's more common in males than females, particularly it says, in firstborn males. The risk factors are premature babies, family history, and the firstborn males. It says that it's more common in Caucasians than Latina, Asian, and African American babies. I'm going to show that to you as well. If I can. This is my paper. Woo. And it also says the symptoms underneath. Some of them. But here's the rest of the symptoms. Woo, right here. And he started probably, oh goodness, about 5 to 7 days after he was born with having fewer bowel movements. And then it went from very few to non-existent. And then he started spitting up, and then it went from spitting up to, vomiting, and then from vomiting to projectile vomiting, and, well, it says forceful vomiting, but it's the same thing. And that all happened, as far as spitting up and then the projectile vomiting, all happened within 24 hours. And he was done with bowel movements, until he was diagnosed at 3 weeks. I called the pediatrician when he started vomiting, and he told me to try switching his formula again. That he's probably vomiting because it wasn't agreeing with his stomach. We had done switched from milk based to soy based, and the soy base probably just wasn't working. So he wanted me to switch to Similac Alimentum and try that, and call him back and let him know how he'd done. Well, it didn't work. So I called him back, told him, and he said, try some Pedialyte. If he keeps it down, just bring him in, the next day, and if not, then to call him back and let him know. So I tried the Pedialyte, didn't work, called him back, let him know, and he said, he may have caught a virus that, need to take him into the ER so he doesn't get dehydrated. So I took him in, and after we finally got back there, after hours and hours, the ER doctor came in, very rude, said, I think he has, pyloric stenosis. Okay, don't know what that is, didn't give us any clue of what it was. He said he has, pretty much all the symptoms of it. We're going to do an ultrasound. So they done an ultrasound. He come back in. He said he has pyloric stenosis. We have to do surgery. We're going to. At this time, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we went in probably about 8 or 9, at night, and we had been waiting all night. And he said, they're going to do it first thing in the morning. Okay. And he wanted to know who our pediatrician was, and we told him. He said, such and such doctor is going to be your surgeon, and left. And the nurse comes in and says, we've got to get an IV started, do some blood work, and me and my mom's panicking. I'm crying, don't know what's going on, don't know what this is. And she's, asking, well, he didn't tell you? No, he didn't tell us, anything other than, he has this. And so he come back in, very rude, not happy that he had to come back in, and told us what it was. And he, basically explained it like this. He said, you have the stomach, and then you have the small intestine that connects, and in between there is a muscle that opens and closes, kind of like this, and it, allows the food to pass through from the stomach to the intestine, and that muscle on the outside is just thickened and thickened and grown, and continue to grow and grow. And now it's finally shut the passageway off, and now he can't pass anything through, so he vomits it. And so we're going, okay, so they're going to have to do surgery to correct it because it doesn't correct itself. The only way to treat it is by surgery. So he left, and then the nurse came back in and brought us this to kind of give us some more information because, he really didn't tell us much. And he was premature. We don't have a family history of it. And he is our firstborn male, and of course, we're Caucasian. So, and then as far as the symptoms, he had, pretty much all the symptoms. He was acting hungry all the time. He was forceful vomiting. He had lost a lot of weight. It says fewer bowel movements on here, but he really wasn't having any at that time. And he was showing signs of dehydration because of, within a matter of hours with, a baby his age and size, it can happen. So then they, pretty much started getting him ready, and my mom's going, I think we, really need a second opinion. I'm not sure this is, what he has, because at that time they had done no blood work, they had done no other tests, except for an ultrasound to say that he had that. So we didn't know, maybe it was a virus, maybe the ultrasound, because when the ultrasound, she said she really couldn't get a good picture, she couldn't get a really good look at it, so we wasn't too sure, so we decided we was going to get a second opinion, and the hospital informed us that we could not get a second opinion, that we couldn't even leave the hospital with him, because it was pretty much life or death, that if he didn't have a surgery, he would die. So we went ahead with it, and they admitted him. We went into the room. The doctor come in, and his surgeon come in, rather, at probably about 7:30, and, really thoroughly explained exactly what it was. There is no, they don't know what the cause of it is, that he had done, several babies like this, that he's seen it quite often around our area. So we felt, pretty confident with him, and come to find out who his surgeon was my surgeon when I was 5 years old. So he's just strictly, if I can spit it out, a children's surgeon. So I felt, pretty confident in, him doing the surgery. He said he didn't know when exactly they could do it, but it would be sometime that morning because he had to do his scheduled surgeries before him. That, he couldn't have nothing to eat until so we had to wait, and about 1 o'clock they come and got us and took us down to where they held us before they come and got him to do the surgery. And he told us, anesthesiologist comes in and talked to us and told us that they was going to give him not only medicine through his IV, but some gas as well, and that it wouldn't take long. And the surgeon came back in and talked to us and said the actual procedure would take about 10 to 15 minutes, but the whole, everything would take about 45 minutes to, put him to sleep, prep him, and everything once they got him in there. And I'm trying to talk kind of fast because I don't want to do too long of a video. And so, he'd have to be in the waiting room for an hour, or not the waiting room, but the recovery room for an hour. Everything went, fine with the surgery. Afterwards, he had to be on an ounce of Pedialyte for 6 hours, and then he could move up to 2 ounces of Pedialyte for 6 hours, and then he could do half-strength formula, 1 ounce for 6 hours, and then 2 ounces of half-strength for 6 hours, and then he had to be an ounce of full-strength formula for 6 hours, and then 2 ounces of full-strength formula for 6 hours before he could go home. And he had to have a bowel movement, and he couldn't vomit. He could do a little spitting up. He said that was normal with, the surgery and everything, but not actually vomiting and not being able to hold anything down. He did spit up, but no vomiting. They wound up having to give him a suppository to use the bathroom, and he did. And then once we come home, he still really wasn't having too many bowel movements for the first day or so, and he was still spitting up, but not vomiting. And then once, he started getting, back to what normal should be, he started with vomiting and diarrhea every time he ate. So I had to take him back. It's been a constant battle since he's had the surgery. He's now 8 weeks old, but it's been a constant battle with vomiting and diarrhea. And I've taken him back probably, I've taken him back once a week since the surgery, and for the same reasons. And he just tells me now that he has irritable bowel syndrome because of it, and he's got acid reflux, and so now we're dealing with that. They've given him some medicine for the irritable bowel syndrome, which is not really working, and giving him medicine for his acid reflux, and he's also having to be on a vitamin supplement because he's really bad anemic. The doctor said, I want to say his levels should be 11 or higher, and he's at a 2. So he's really low on his iron, and he has to be on vitamin C to absorb the iron. But pretty much has had a constant battle. The surgeon did not do laparoscopic surgery. He just did a normal incision, and the incision's probably 2 inches. I mean, it's a good size incision. It hasn't really faded much. He told us that by the time he was 1 or 2 that it would have faded to where you could barely even tell that he had surgery, but I'm not quite sure if that's going to happen. We'll just have to see. I am going to do an update on how he's doing probably another month or so, and then I'll do another one after that. He'll be 3 months old when I do my next update, and then I'll probably wait till he's probably 6 months, and then I'll do another update. But as far as the surgery went fine and everything, just having a lot of problems now. And I kind of want to do this video, to let parents know out there that this does exist. my experience, and also to get other parents' perspective, because when I looked up on YouTube, there wasn't, very many videos, and really any experiences like I've had, with him having, trouble now after the surgery. Um, so just kind of want to get everybody's take on it, and, see if anybody's having the same problems as, I'm having. He's all the time hungry, and, he's vomiting now, and he has diarrhea, so I'm kind of, just kind of want to know, if anybody else is having the same problems as we're having. But, I'll just keep y'all, more or less updated and let you know how he's doing, and, if y'all have had any experiences with it, or know anyone that's had any experiences, just let me know, and let me know how, they're doing now, and, just, give me, some information. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I want to give information that I have, and want to, get information. So, just stay tuned, and I'll have, an update on here, pretty soon.